Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Christopher Mockeratis Bond, on this late afternoon edition, or early afternoon edition of Fire Liberty. A very unique episode of which there's a lot of, not Fire Liberty, this episode is a broadcast for completely new. Particularly about many types of structural understandings of architectural and blueprint designs for the types of orchestrations, deliberances, and forecasts which shall be made in terms of the types of unique evanescent clarities for the types of structures involved in the creativity in a new sort of transitionary design for programming and for gaming. However, it's not necessarily just gaming. It's more for it's a proprioception adapter, proprioception enhancer, which of course allows for cognitive thinking, which allows for the more connectivity between the nerves to increase myelin. Well, I don't know if it actually increases myelin, but I'm pretty sure, of course, what I'm going for is increasing cognitive function, and of course, eye, hand contact, dexterity, cognitive function, etc. And of course, thinking, processing, sorting out, and therefore speaking and talking, which does ultimately have a major effect. Of course, the types of blueprints, which are spoken blueprints, really just not only just they're actually made blueprints, but written blueprints are, for example, and which is a very key important part of this is just like a building block too, but so these are sorts of designs for a new type of portable. This describe the portable first. Portable type of, and this is just something a brand new design for a type of idea which can be built on, or which should be built on, or is being built on. This new sort of avenue for sort of ABS, so an architecturally blessed structure, and as in also new and creative. So meaning, so you got a so here's the thing. So it is and this is incredibly new, but this is the sort of transition that's kind of next, or kind of new age and like Renaissance, cynistical, or just a pretty creative way. So more just going straight into it. So so you have the 3D understanding layout structure of a 3D multiplayer interaction function, of course, which is not only transferable between third and first, it is also second, and it's also 360-degree view from the, for example, point or character's perspective in terms of the character that is portrayed. That character, of course, is in a very, very fast-paced environment involving many different types of sensories which are required to allow for certain movements which can be very coarse and gradual, or incredibly subtle and slight. And that's what makes this so. It is a brand new sort of proprioception interaction field. So instead of using proprioception to interact with the interface of a 2D environment inside a 3D realm, 2D visualization inside of 3D realm. It is a, bear with me, it is a true embodiment, living of the 3D realm in the 4D world, interacting with proprioception in that. So it is, it's a full body virtual. So now this is still, that mode is still place, stationary. The more complex part is, of course, the advanced recreational component, which is containing the blueprint has several sizes. So for this one, this particular design is actually 25 by 25 miles for this blueprint. 25 by 25 miles. With, of course, all landmarks, terrain, obstacles, etc. With its, of course, arenas, maps, locations, which are variable, transportable, and, of course, will ultimately require a different state of loading, and, of course, a different state of. It's an incredibly true, interactive, involved, and the sort of interactions, which is important to know, the types of ability to pause. Bear with me, and this is for of course, the programming designing, to ascension or descension, or as in one for the one story radius, to enter into exit the sort of, how should I describe this? The arena. Well, let's go with a specific arena. So, of course, this is obviously just for a sort of traditional design, which of course is one of the most traditional designs that are out there. Is Sidewinder. And pretty much everybody that knows what Sidewinder is, the ice map with ice patches, tanks on either. Well, if there's tanks on either side. And of course, this is just a description of a peaceful type of map location. So this is so now there's actual physical. Well, that's maybe 1 by 1. Not even 1 by 1, probably half mile by half mile. That is the type of interactive environment that allows for, of course, multi-variable, multi-creationistical. Actually, I'm not going to use the term multi-creationistical, even though that is a major aspect to allow for not only multiple designs of the games, but of course the new game structure design, ideology or idea or focus itself. And then of course the various sorts of new actual, which would be called, games of interactive setting multi is the multivarious sorts of creativity applications. So, to be more specific, it can be a sport, and you add more variety to that sport, and it can be any sport, as well as those that, of course, are more advanced and require more senses. And of course, there's all varieties of action, adventure, etc., and so on and so forth. Horror, drama, as well as amusement, recreation, and as well as fitness, etc. And it's definitely, ultimately, every single one is definitely fitness, essentially. So it's the development of a Universal Studio type amusement park roller coaster with the and I'm going to explain why I use this as the foundation to what's going to happen next. It is a foundation. So when we go back to the similarities is the comparison to actual. So of course, actual roller coaster rides of 4D, 4D interactive environment coasters as a Universal Studios, copyright there. To for example, single celled for example, capsule, or for example, body interacting into environment, which that enhance proprioception and environment manipulation, development, etc. It's gonna be very, very cool. One of the features is land making or landscaping. So of course, with a tool, for example, a wand, or not a wand, I can't believe it's just called a wand, a conductor's baton, or a something that I want to use a description of something that cannot be used into a weapon, useful sort of, or the kind of objects like a hula hoop or juggling pins, bowling pins, which can be juggled. So the type of conductor's wand, land shaping, so creation of hills, depressions, oceans, lakes, weather. So it's like sort of similar to Sims, with a combination of black and white. It's a combination of with a similar, which can be an animated environment such as Fable, or as realistic as it is, which is true, ultra sophisticated, or high definition, but the goal is just to be super detailed. This is super sophisticated 4D creations, developments, and visualizations. And then that is similar to the types of structures and designs that exist for Universal Studios, and that's just one example of some type of manipulation. So that can be, quick speed, interactive understandings, and that, of course, builds a whole another set of thought processes and the way things connect, and therefore the thought structure. And that's what's so important about growing and thinking in general, because of course, the mind of an architect of course, thinks, or an engineer in general, or the mind of, and this is a real challenge, which is amazing accomplishment. So that, of course, this could be the foundation for what is going to be actual, which is kind of the amazing thing about having this quarantine removed from the solar system is that next step into, for example, for peaceful purposes and just for recreational purposes is the recreational areas that exist in our regions of space in our solar system. So the phrase for that is let's do the of course the main goal and the purpose of it is to develop the mind, the architectural mind, the creative mind, to continually be unlimited, especially going well beyond into just being well beyond into an actual galactic civilization, and of course our capabilities and supporting and develop ascension and spiritual development and enhance proprioceptivity and sensor ability. That is involved with the described scene with either conductor's baton or the fingers and hands and arms and body used to make and create and build things, seemingly out of nothing. So your hands can construct and raise mountains, and also as well construct and raise oceans and lakes and rivers. And that allows a flow and a design with an interactive form. So now that, when two co-op creations, there's for example, a set design, say, so kind of like a cook, or like a cooking game. This is a cooking menu, which is very interesting because it's like similar to a culinary art. This is MCA. It's not a culinary art. It's a new, format of school, but it's a multi-creationalistical art. So that is it's multi-creational art. So it's the art of using multi-creationalistical aspects to develop the art form of creation in forms of interactability. So you have landscape making, and which can go up into many different types of recipes. So you got a recipe. You need this, and this to make it, and it takes this long to make. Same thing with creational design. So in this MCA environment, you got replicate. Let's do a landmark first. Mount Everest, and then the designs which are built in this realm can make Mount Everest. And then you can, of course, add the snow and vary, and then, of course, you can actually exert effort to accomplish physical tasks, for example, or, for example, level up, making more tasks possible to do, and of course opening up the mind, and of course keeping the mind open for more tasks that can be laid. So it's a growing sort of developmental thing, which is important with the blueprints themselves, which aren't necessarily restricted to what I described, a half mile by half mile, or 25 by 25 mile, 25 mile by 25 mile. That's one art form. And that's due, or that's due, I mean, that's some sort of creation to, of course, enhance and build from there. But starting off of the blueprint, which is one of the things I started off with, the building blocks that make that sort of structure intact involve those of the following that I mentioned, from the area, the location, to landmark and design ability, and as well as the actual 3D embodiment technology, and as well as the proprioception enhanced technology in forms of programmability for the types of connections with the environment connected with proprioception, nerves, or nerve, the system, I guess. What's that called? Nervous system, yeah. Nerve cells. So this is your host, Christopher Malker-Despone, on this late afternoon edition. Very brief explanation of this very unique type of amazing co-creative, for example, game, but this is, once again, just one aspect of architectural design, one aspect of even sort of recreational design, as well as, most importantly, the most important and physical and educational development. This is your host, Christopher Malker-Despone. Love you all.